rises in the river. I've been told that at most it might add 10 or 11 inches.
Okay, we can handle that.
Yes.
For sure.
New update coming up in a few, right?
Any second now, yes.
All right, we'll get back with you soon.
Okay.
Thanks, David.
Right, thanks, David. Tiffany Wong has been in St. Charles Parish where they were doing some pump work a little while ago. Let's check back in with her.
That's right, they're actually still doing some pump work. It's dark and raining out here, but again, that's not stopping crews from installing these pumps through the night to prevent flooding ahead of the storm. As you can see, very active scene out here. Crews are unloading hoses right now to attach to the pumps. Parish President Larry Cochran says they're installing 5 pumps to help supplement their pump station before the heavy rains come. The Director of Public Works says the 36-inch pump can pump out 100 cubic feet of water per second, while the other 4 pumps can push out 30,000 gallons per minute. And Cochran says he also took out Congressman Garrett Graves to the West Bank, where they closed the Parity Canal earlier today and were able to get total closure between the canal all the way to the diversion, where they have 7.5 foot of protection. And while these pumps would help prevent flooding for the storm, Graves says they're working on a levee project that would help for future storms.
Fund after 40 years, the project being stuck, the West Shore project, which is $760 million, $750 million in federal funds coming in to help provide protection over on the Lake Pontchartrain, Lake Maurepas side, where we've repeatedly had floodwaters. You may remember Hurricane Isaac coming in and flooding many of the communities, covering up the highway.
And we were out in Destrehan earlier, where residents were also busy at sandbag locations getting sandbags to prepare for any potential for flooding. Again, Cochran reminds residents to remain vigilant and says Public Works Department, the employees have been out working around the clock. And again, these crews will be out here until conditions worsen. Reporting live from St. Charles Parish, Tiffany Wong, Fox 8, Local First.
All right, thanks a lot, Tiffany. Now let's go down to Lafourche Parish, where Sabrina Wilson is at a shelter.
This shelter has been open all day, and around 8 o'clock tonight, about 16 people had arrived to seek shelter here during the weather conditions brought on by Barry. Of course, a tree was felled on Highway 308 tonight, just an example of the deteriorating weather. Strong winds, off and on heavy rain. Emergency crews arrived on the scene and quickly worked together to get that tree removed from the roadway so that no one would be hurt. Earlier today, Highway 1 on between Golden Meadow and Grand Isle was shut down because the water from Bayou Lafourche was racing onto the roadway. Here at the shelter director tells me that everyone is welcome, but they need to bring their own supplies.
I did speak with the Sheriff's Department, and even after curfew, which is 10 o'clock until 8 tomorrow morning, even after curfew, if you feel unsafe in your home, please know that you can get out. If you feel that where you're at is unsafe, you can get out and come straight to the shelter. If an officer was to stop you, please let them know that you're on your way to the shelter. They may escort you, or they may let you know get by.
We got a call in the town of Leeville. A mother who had stayed with her 8-month-old baby wanted to be rescued. We were able to make that rescue. Deputy Lee Ray, who's here with me, had to wade through waist-deep water to get him into his truck and get him out.
The parish says the shelter can accommodate about 500 people. So again, people are welcome. Just bring your own food, and no pets allowed unless they are service animals. I'm Sabrina Wilson, Fox 8, Local First.
All right, thanks, Sabrina. Catherine Mazzone has been traveling throughout Lafourche Parish and has an update from there.
Here along LA 1, this is one of the few spots that's still open. Gwen Wolford, you're the manager here at this gas station, and you're closing early because of the curfew, but you tell me you started earlier today, like really early, trying to get everything squared away.
Yeah, we got sandbags, and we're going to put them out as soon as we close. We saran wrap the pumps. That way it doesn't damage the pumps. But we also going to keep one open for emergency vehicles. That way, if they need fuel during the night, they'll be able to still stop and use their cords at the pump.
You've got your trash cans and everything situated in the front.
Yeah. That way the wind don't take it and go in the neighbors' yards or in the streets and stuff. So we'll keep them here until tomorrow.
I know that you've been in constant contact with corporate all day about making preparations for this storm. Is there anything else that they told you to kind of keep in mind as you're hunkering down?
Just watch for the high waters, power outages, and stuff like that. Try and keep everything safe.
We spoke to residents who say they're making last-minute runs while they can.
Our mom was like, well, we need gas for the generators, so we're just getting that for her. Asked for some cigarettes, so just come and get that for her.
A couple last-minute runs.
Just basically like, yeah, all the little things, right? There was like a little lull, so I guess, perfect time to go run out and get everything we needed.
In just a short while, these sandbags will be in front of the business, and all of its employees will be home for the evening, hunkering down just like all of the other residents in Lafourche Parish, who are again set to be home by 10 p.m. tonight for that curfew. In Lafourche, Catherine Mazzone, Fox 8 Local First.
All right, Catherine, we a little while ago we saw Kimberly Kurth, our reporter, with some people in the French Quarter.
Some very entertaining people.
Some New Zealand tourists who had quite a week.
They did.
Quite a vacation.
They were here for the flood a few days ago.
Yes.
And now they're here for this, and they still love New Orleans and can't wait to come back, and we love to hear that.
Well, they may be here longer than anticipated because their flight's tomorrow,
yeah,
I believe,
they
out
might
here.
be here.
Let's see who else Kimberly ran into down in the Quarter.
We are here in the French Quarter at the corner of Bourbon Street and Iberville. As you can see, the rain is starting to pick up here, but we still have plenty of people out making the most of their night. Some have had their flights canceled. Others are in town for events, but have found themselves trying to figure out what to do with all this nasty weather. And joining us now, I understand you ladies are in town from New Jersey, right?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Way from New Jersey.
And you came in town Tuesday, so you saw Wednesday. What did you think about that?
Wednesday it was kind of scary for us. We don't go through that type of stuff in Jersey. No, we do not. It was kind of scary. Our whole lobby of our hotel was flooded to the knees. Yes, yeah. So it was kind of scary. We made the best of it. We still came out to Bourbon Street after the water went away.
Yes, and then here you are on Saturday for all the action.
Yes, I'm not scared. I'm going to stay out here on Bourbon Street and have me some drinks.
You're making the most of it, right?
Yes. All the way till Sunday, we're going to stay here.
Got canceled.
Talk to me about that. I said your flight got canceled.
Well, they sent us an email saying that our flights are canceled and that they'll pay for everything still. So we're happy. And we're going to just have fun down here. We're going to make the best of it.
So you got another night in New Orleans for your vacation.
Yes.
Now, how are you guys staying safe? Are you staying tuned to the forecast and everything?
Nope. We're not even watching it. To be honest, we're not.
We're out. We're going to get some food to take back to our hotel so we can have some
floods real bad.
Yeah,
we can't come out, so we're going to be just fine. We're not watching the news. Yeah. If it comes, it comes. It doesn't, it doesn't. I don't think it's going to be. It's only a Category 1.
So we're not scared.
You're going to make the most of it. Have you at least been able to enjoy some good food, the music, all that New Orleans has to offer?
Yes. We just left from Willie's. And the chicken is the best. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, we went to Mr. Ed's. Their food was pretty good. We didn't get to try Deanie's, but hopefully probably tomorrow if the storm doesn't hit too bad.
And you're probably finding that some places are closed today, others are open.
Yeah, we see a lot of places are closed. So I got my little one non-alcoholic beverage.
All right. Well, listen, ladies, I want you to stay safe, enjoy your trip, and I hope you'll come back. Will you come back?
Yes, we'll be here for Mardi Gras.
Yes, Mardi Gras. We'll be here. No. Definitely not.
All right. Well, enjoy the rest of your trip and stay safe. So there you have it. We've been talking to people out here in the French Quarter. It's really not that packed. There's really not that many people out. So you have obviously a lot of people that are staying inside out of the weather. But we are starting to see the rain pick up here. Not much wind at this time. But we've talked to tourists who are saying, hey, our flight was canceled or waiting to find out if our flight is canceled. And they're making the most of it by enjoying what New Orleans has to offer. For now, reporting from the French Quarter, Kimberly Kurth, Fox 8 Local First.
All right, we have some new developments with the storm.
We do. Let's go over to David Bernard for a real quick update.
Actually, that's just now coming in, the new advisory, and we're putting together some of the new analysis in from the Hurricane Center, guys, and we're going to have that for you in about 8 minutes at the top at 10 o'clock.
All right, David. We will see you in a few.
Right now, we want to go to Rob Masson, who's live in Cocodrie. He was in Chauvin, went back down to Cocodrie to give us an update on the conditions there as this storm gets closer to making landfall. Rob?
And Kim, yeah, we are now on the south side of the floodgate on Highway 56. This is Cocodrie down this way. The only people down here are sheriff's deputies. The mandatory evacuation order is going to effect right now at 10 o'clock for all of Terrebonne Parish, especially this area. There's been a voluntary evacuation order in place all day long. As you can see, it is really rocking and rolling down here. We were talking to the McElroys earlier, showing the foundation on their house. They're about 3 miles to the south of us here. They said all of a sudden 4 feet of water came up, covered the roadway. They've gotten out of here now, and the winds are really, really starting to pick up from Tropical Storm Barry. It feels like 65 to 70 maybe as the storm starts to make its way through. For most of the day, the winds were pushing in from the east. Now they're coming in from the southeast. That is bringing a lot of water in here. This water was way, way back there for most of the afternoon. Now it is right up against the roadway here. And again, we're sort of up from the end of the road about 4 or 5 miles. And down further, the road is impassable to regular passenger vehicles. You have to have a high water vehicle. But again, there were only 1 or 2 people down there. They have gotten out there as well. The storm has been languishing all day. As you know, we saw blue sky here a couple of hours ago. The winds had died down to maybe 5 to 10 miles an hour after being up around 40 earlier in the day. Now it feels like they're pushing in around 60 or 70. Again, the floodgate is closed. Nobody can get down here to this side of the floodgate in Cocodrie because they're worried about all this water covering up the roadway. The floodgate designed to protect the rest of Terrebonne Parish, but winds really starting to push in now around 65 or 70 miles an hour. We still have some Terrebonne deputies here, some state police to keep people out of this area. It is definitely deteriorating as the storm starts to make its way toward the Louisiana coastline. But winds very, very strong. There is an evacuation center open in Houma. I got to tell you, 5 miles up the road, you hardly feel anything. But here, we could definitely feel Tropical Storm Barry's presence. From Cocodrie, Rob Masson, Fox 8 Local First. Back to you guys.
All right. You can see the camera having a tough time controlling it.
And that was just, what, a few hours ago in Cocodrie. Rob was saying, oh, the conditions aren't bad. You could actually see blue skies up there everything.
But this is a function of that storm just hanging offshore.
Yeah.
Didn't have a top half. The second half is still out there, which we're going to get an update from David coming up in just about 5 minutes. And so the conditions are starting to worsen, and that's what we expected to happen. It's just different from every storm that we've ever covered before.
It is. And David, again, we had the new advisory. There's a couple of developments in that. David's processing all the information, wants to kind of put it together, check it out. In a couple of minutes, he'll bring us the very latest on his thoughts on the new advisory and the storm's path and what will happen with the storm.
We did talk to State Insurance Commissioner Jim Donelon a little bit earlier. He came and visited us here on set to talk about insurance and kind of what do you do if you don't have insurance, and especially if you do have insurance, what is the process that you should follow once this storm passes through? New Orleans just saw a storm a few days ago. A lot of people had flooded out vehicles. This is going to be completely different in terms of the flood impact in South Louisiana. Jim Donelon had this to say.
Fill that void. We now have a more robust and competitive property insurance market than any time in our state's history, and it saves people money on their cost, on their premium cost. But having said that, it's not a name that you will recall from advertising. It's generally a smaller regional carrier reinsured up to their chin by the international reinsurance marketplace. That's how they can afford to take on our extensive coastal exposure that's quite pricey.
Kim mentioned it, though, here in the New Orleans area, we already had an event, a few days ago. Do you have any idea how big that was for insurance claim or anything like that?
Very small.
Yeah.
It was very limited. This will be much bigger.
That was more like you had vehicles and a few, there's a bunch of vehicles,
yes,
obviously.
A lot of vehicles, and by comparison, in Baton Rouge in 2016, 60,000 insured vehicles costing insurers $700 million.
Wow.
Before Katrina, our all-time record event was a hailstorm in 2000 here in New Orleans that cost $500 million. That flooded vehicle part alone cost $700 million. So it will happen again with this event.